Hello and welcome to this edition of Big Sky 35 Saturday edition. Sorry, I have a dog next door that is just won't stop howling. This is my weekends. So I'm getting ready to leave after I do this for a little bit, run some errands, get out of here. Uh, so crazy week I've had. I got some stories to tell. Want to touch on a question from last week and trying to get my hat straight so I don't look like too much of a bum. Getting my hair cut today. Uh, Trying to clean some of this up. So anyway, so Monday night, just me. Sunday night, just me. I thought it was a pretty good show. Uh, just talking, sports, cards, everything in between. Some good questions. One piqued my curiosity, so I've been trying to find out a little bit more about it. And I do have an opinion, and I'll get to it later. Of course, I have an opinion. I got an opinion on everything. So which gets me in trouble sometimes. But I do. I will talk about that here in a few minutes. Uh, and then we got, let's see, Wednesday. Showed off some, finally got my PSA cards back. Shout out to JT for that struggle. Then I got let's see, CSG and SGC. Uh, you know, Tore down the internet that day. We broke all the rules when it comes to the hobby, and I'll talk a little bit more about grading. And I talk about this a lot, but I get questions a lot. So also, I'm going to talk about some releases here in a few minutes. Didn't get a chance to do my Thursday show, just hectic week. We've been busy at work, staying late, uh, and just didn't feel well on the end of the week. These rains came in. It felt like I had a little sinus infection, but I feel a lot better today. Took some medicine, went to sleep last night. And I thought I'd be going out of town this weekend, but plans fell through as they do. Life happens. So I get to sit here comfortably this morning and do this. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this today. So let's get into a little bit of some opinions I have. So one of the great questions, and I'm trying to remember who it was. I should have went back and looked so I can get us first credit. I know a couple people were saying that Fanatics got the rights to NHL hockey jerseys. And what is that going to? I think a lot of people are freaking out because they think that's the end. But I mean, other companies have done the jerseys. I think once the ML or NHL buys the jersey, and there's some precedent to this. I'm not just making this up because I want it this way. But once they become, it's their jersey, it's theirs. The teams, the Players Association, the NHL, Fanatics is just supplying it. I don't think they had to pay enough like CCM or Nike to put a jersey in other cards. I know some people are talking about like how like these companies have to pay for game worn jerseys. I think the game worn jerseys are already supplied. I know in MLB, Tops gets some just because of the contract. Uh, Almost, if not every home dugout has a MLB representative that does memorabilia stuff as the game's going on. So when you see them toss the ball off to the home dugout, there's a guy over there writing notes or on the ball itself who was hitting, what happened on that pitch, all that stuff. Uh, and then most of the time they sell the. I bought one of those balls for my nephew for his to commemorate his first game at when we went to the Nationals, the Giants, when he was a youngster. Just a cool way to commemorate moments at the ballpark. And then they also, those teams, if a bat breaks or in their own jerseys, stuff like that. And I think we're jumping to conclusions that because it's Fanatics jersey, somehow that Upper Deck won't be able to do jersey cards, patch cards anymore. And I don't think that's going to be the case. Now, do you think they'll take the Fanatics tag and put it in their card? I wouldn't think so. But the biggest thing to me is CCM. I think I'm saying that right. Is losing I think they've had that contract uh, forever. I really do. Um, but some people, my buddy JD wishes Fanatics would get Upper Deck rights so they could get Jordan and all that. I don't think Upper Deck's going anywhere, and I think Fanatics spent so much for the big three that they need to recoup some money from that before they move on. And hockey is, unless something I mean, money moves a lot of needles, but hockey, Upper Deck was loyal to hockey during the last strike. They were the only company to come to them. Some companies were asked telling the NHL they had to pay them to do the cards. Uh, and Upper Deck and NHL have been together for a while, and uh, NHL showed some loyalty in the last contract. Uh, so that is, you know, and I mean, for TV and stuff, NHL is a distant. I don't know if they're fourth or where they're at in the pecking order in the United States, but worldwide, Canada and other places, they do. That's a strong. We think so much of our bubble that we forget there's other places outside of where we're at. That's why everybody is screaming at Panini, and yeah, I'm sure Fanatics is pressing on Panini to try to buy the rights early to get, but they don't need Panini's product, and Panini needs to keep their license not to their product. They need Prism and all that because they make other cards outside of the United States. They're gonna keep making stuff. Is it going to be as lucrative? Probably not. And I could see them. They've been somewhat successful with baseball. I could see them doing something outside the realm. I don't know. Somebody mentioned a leaf product. Again, I think it was JD and them, or maybe it was Carlos. I try to give, if I hear from somebody, I try to give people credit where I hear from. But I just think Leaf wants to hang on to their intellectual rights um, to keep that because people know if a product comes out on the shelves that says Prism, there's going to be people that buy that just because it says Prism at this moment. That's how it is right now because people are familiar with that product. Uh, so that's where that is. I just think just because Fanatics has the rights to the hockey jerseys, creating the hockey jerseys. Like I said before, I think it's great because they make jerseys in my size. So now I can get me a nice Washington jersey, Caps jersey. I used to have a few. I used to have like LA Kings back in the day with the Gretzky, and I had the Devils just because I like that jersey or sweaters, whatever you want to call them. I just you know Some people don't like Fanatics as the clothing. I haven't not had any problems with them. I this hat I've showed most of the stuff I get from Fanatics. I just think when they get everything right, they're going to be pressing eBay and some of these other companies on a lot of things. They're going to be the one-stop shop for hobby. I do believe that's coming. They're going to have breaker channels. They're going to do, sales. I just That's going to be one, and I would not be surprised if they have some type of YouTube set up for channels to be shown on air, brought to you by Fanatics or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised of any of that because I could just see that they didn't look. The first guy they got for that type of thing was a moron, so they're going to still look for it to the internet because they know that's where this hobby thrives is on art, this piece of machinery that we're talking through right now, the interwebs, whatever you want to call it. That's how they know this is where a bulk of the hobby is, buying, selling, uh, communicating, all that stuff. It's just a fact. And I wish they would be more forthcoming of what their thoughts are in the future. I wish they would tell us what cards are being replaced by the ones they took out, if at all. You would kind of think they are because they got to make a certain amount um, per the contract. So I I'm eager to see what the future because I think right now the cards, and I don't know if this is a Fanatics influence bringing in some new blood or what, but I've really liked this year's products so far this year. This is what I was talking about earlier. I really, really, really like um, the base cards for Series One this year, the flagship. Don't like the insert colors. They could have done more. The Independence, that looks like something that Don Ross or for Panini would have done. Uh, you know, I 2018. That is to me the premiere when they did those variant colors, right? Uh, I just think that's that's where they're lacking a little bit. But they came out they got rid of opening day, which I thought was a great idea. They had too many versions of the same card. You had all the different chrome versions of it, sapphire, you know, Chrome update, opening day. Thank goodness we didn't have opening day Chrome. I'm sure that was probably on the way. Opening day Sapphire. So you had all these, holiday. They have all these versions of the same card. I didn't think that was a bad idea. And then they come in and just brought their big league, which was kind of forgotten, just something that was sat on the shelves that was there for young people or people on a buying on a budget. Let's Hey, I bought it because it was cheap and it was an interesting break. We're not the best, but I tell you, this product this year really had me thinking about buying a box because I'm watching. I mean, the inserts are just incredible. Andrew called me about it the other day, and I'm just like, yeah, he's buying some. I mean, this guy's commendable. He's coaching his son's baseball team. Anybody that does that, uh, you know, first you got to put up with all the other parents. I coached little league 5-6 years, and I don't have a child. I just did it because I love the sport, and whenever they needed a coach, they called me, and I coached. And there were when the kids got older, a lot of the parents, fathers, and stuff just kind of it. Once it gets past 12 years old in our community, it was purely something just to do. Uh, so I coached that group once they got to the bigger field, uh, which I love because then the game changed and it was like teaching a whole the I got to teach baseball, not the little league version. I got to teach it on the big field, and I love that. Uh, but anyway, so he called me up. He got a few boxes. He hands them out at the end of the season packs, which is awesome. They do a trade, a bench trade. He's supposed to be recording that, so we're looking for that in the future. They went. I think they released the one where Dean went to the shop to get some stuff for that. But anyway, it it uh, it it just uh, it just that product is very good. I like the color. I like that they used just how they did it. I haven't held it in my hand. I bought a few. That's opening day was the product to get stuff that for series two. It was a preview to see what was going to be in series two, what rookies and stuff like that. So if some of the rookies were in series two, that was the first time you saw them. Well, Big League was the same way, but it's a different format. So you're not seeing the card. But it was the first time to see some of the rookies, and I picked up some of the rookies from Mike Sales Group because he opened, I don't know how many boxes he opened, but that 8-bit and some of those other ones were just great. And they did the same thing in Series 1. Their inserts this year, they stepped the game up. Still not as great as 90s inserts. But I think it's a funner break for that at lower price ranges. Series 1 got stupid there for a minute for Jumbo because everybody knows Jumbo, and it still went up. I got 2 boxes while it was, I think it's came down some, but when I got them, pre-ordered them, or had them held for me at my card shop, I got them at the release date prices. So they were, and that's to get your insert colors. Jumbo is where it's at. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's more bang for your buck. I just think hobby. I just, you don't get an autograph and you don't get as much color. You don't get nearly as much color on the inserts. But I got the 2 jumbos because all the rookie class, and I'll probably do the same thing in Series 2. Because I think this rookie class this year is pretty amazing. We'll wait to see if any superstars come out of it. But there's a good shot but there's, again, I think it's that same class with Cronenworth and them, where you might not see these superstars, but you might see all-stars and guys that are going to be in a league, for 15 years being producers. And there's a lot to be said for that. For a guy that loves the sport, I have a realistic view of things like that. And I like those players. And I still pick up Cronenworth rookie cards. He just signed a great deal. The Padres wouldn't have signed him to that deal with that club they got if he wasn't an integral piece for that lineup and for the fielding. And I mean, he's having a good season starting off. Hashtag watch the games. There you go, Ed. That one's for you. And so that's my thoughts on that, on those 2 things that I've been hearing about this week. Again, Big League. If you collecting on a budget, you want to rip something, there you go. If you want to, and get a box, don't go get a hobby box for $50 instead of spending $25 for a blaster. At least you'll get an auto out of it, I think. Might not be anybody tremendous, but it's an auto. You might get Jeff Wilson auto. Who knows? They could have done without that. That wasn't the product to do that with. You're saying it's a children's release, and you're going to give them something that probably shouldn't. You don't want to. That's the last thing we want is our children exposed to YouTube personalities. To me, that's put mascots in there or a chance to whatever. It put those guys in Allen and they could have put that in Allen and Ginter, and it would have been fine. Nobody would have said anything. They've done it before. Um, so that's my thought on that. And I'm not angry they did that. I can care less, but I just don't think it was the right product to do it in. Coming up tomorrow night, Nats man, it's gonna be Easter, so Nats man won't be with me. He's got family stuff, which is awesome. Um, I'm gonna put some feelers out, see if I can't get somebody on with me. Uh, if that's you, let me know. Uh, let's see. Uh, First week of my fantasy team, I'm in a battle with James Elite Hunters. It's going to come down to the end of today, it being Saturday. I have a lot of pitchers going today, so we'll see if we can't pull it out. I'm like 30 points behind, 40 points behind. But that's been fun, and me and him try to work out a deal. Sorry, James, I've been so busy. I've been meaning to call you back. Need to get in touch with you. So with that being said, Wednesday, show off some additions again. Uh, not a lot going on. Haven't really bought a lot. Did buy some cards from Mike's thing this past week. Um, he just opens a lot, so just the easy way to get to singles, and I trust him. So he lets me know what kind of condition they're in. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't. Um, Having fun, having a great start to the baseball season. Mets ain't doing great, but it's just the beginning. It's just enough to get frustrated. Uh, we're going to cut down. You NBA guys, it seems like the West is wide open. A lot of interesting stuff going on. Hockey playoffs around the corner. So a lot of stuff going on. Masters weekend. Just great week. Great time to be a sports enthusiast. And enjoy your Easter holiday. And I hope everybody enjoyed their, I believe Passover was past week and Ramadan. I hope everybody had whatever your spiritual or religion is. I hope you had a fantastic time doing what you do. I'm just going to enjoy the weekend. So until next time, see ya.